Hi everyone, Paul Morbid here, Morbid Team Entertainment and Bolex Repair Philippines. Welcome to 2.5 of how to save hundreds and thousands on lenses for your Bolex Reflex motion picture camera. So, how can, for experimental filmmaking, you use 50mm lenses, 58s, around that, and a bit lower, quite a bit lower. Let me show you. Remember everyone, what I'm doing here is talking to essentially experimental filmmakers for using these lenses with the M42 to C-mount adapters for these particular smaller type of lens, 50, 58, lower, around that. What I do for experimental filmmaking, I enjoy the 60s and 70s style. So with that, what I like to do, I like that image of in the early 70s of filming in the streets, so to speak. That's always a good scene in these 70s early films, and where they have the camera, the lens slightly out of focus, or in this case quite a bit out of focus, and they've got some bokeh in there at night a bit from the street lights, neon signs, and they're filming, and this is done for the titles, just like I have this mark, this Helios 44 marked for titles. So, fellow experimental filmmakers who enjoy the 60s, 70s style of the lens being, a good bit out of focus, that's what you're going to get from like a Helios 58, a little bit higher and definitely lower. And it's also going to depend on how much you stop it up. Depend on the the name brand of the lens, as each lens is unique. But this is primarily for experimental filmmaking. If you're looking for that same type of shot, out of focus, filming on people on the street, and using it for titles, again, as I have this lens marked, then this is the lens. You don't have to go out and spend hundreds and thousands, for another lens all the time. You don't have to keep buying lenses. There's a lot of these lenses, Helios, Jupiter, and other types of Russian lenses, and any other type of lenses on the market, and the adapters to fit them. Alright? So you can get that shot with these type of lenses and the adapters, M42 to C-mount, and you're going to come out just fine for your titles. It's going to give you that nice vintage 70s, early 70s look, and even some from the 60s. Moving on. Here's something very important I want to show you. The M42 to C-mount adapters that we have available at Bolex Repair Philippines. You can visit us on our FB page where we have the adapters. You don't want the adapter, the back of the thread mount, to extend beyond the turret, as that can catch on to the filter holder and ruin your ground glass. So as you can see here, look closely in there, the threads on the adapters that we're selling at Bolex Repair Philippines do not extend beyond the turret. You always want to check this with whatever adapter that you buy for your lens first, before filming. So yes, with a lens of 58mm, a little bit higher, 50 and lower, spending $40 US, 2,000 Filipino pesos it would be, on a lens like that, inexpensive M42 to C-mount adapters that we have on Bolex Repair Philippines FB page. You better believe this is going to be my choice for my experimental horror filmmaking, rather than spending hundreds and thousands of US dollars or hundreds and thousands of Filipino pesos on a lens. I essentially have a lens for each type of scene and effect that I want with vintage lenses, and still do not break my wallet of spending this type of money. Very, very inexpensive. And when I want a more clear, viewable image, another choice of mine is the Jupiter 11 135mm vintage lens. I've attached an M39 screw mount adapter that I can attach my M42 to C-mount on here. Screw that right on. And with this lens, I have a more viewable image for my experimental horror filmmaking, and I love it. It gives me that great look, vintage look that I want from the 70s. Very surreal, dreamy visual right there. And when I want a clear viewable image, 200mm and up is the way to go, because we all know reflex lenses are made for reflex cameras. But still, using this method that I enjoy, it still doesn't cost that much at all and works out just fine for experimental filmmaking. Hope you've enjoyed this video and learned a lot for vintage lenses and adapters for experimental filmmaking. Do click that bell down there, right down there, and subscribe, comment, like, and share. Paul Morbid of Morbid Team Entertainment and Bolex Repair Philippines. Until next time, see ya!